What would you say to the business owner listening who thinks investing in their team is a waste of time? They go, Sean, I got too much going on. I don't have time to sit down with this person and handhold them for an hour a week.
Well, eventually you're going to be working by yourself because people they feed off of the energy of the owner, right? They're only going to do more or less than what you're trying to teach them to do. And if you're not the person who's going to sit there and ask them how their day is, well, why should I care about how your day is? I don't care if you're over there screaming in the corner because you just lost $100, or I'm throwing an extra chicken out in the garbage and driving your food costs up through the roof. And if you don't care about me, I don't care about you. That's the only thing that's going to happen. And you're going to be by yourself sitting in a restaurant one day, open up the door or the key, expecting your employees to come behind you, and you find out that everybody left. That's what's going to happen, because they never sat down and got the buy-in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's not a good thing to do. Is not mentor anybody, or at least bring them in so they understand exactly what your goals are. Because if you don't clearly map out and tell them exactly what your path is and what your goals are for your business, why would they care?
So it's giving them that vision and that clarity.
Absolutely.
That's in support of what they want too, not just your own path.
If you open up the door and say, I'm struggling every day, they'll be like, I've got to look for another job. But if you say, listen, these are the numbers yesterday that we achieved together, and we want to try to do bigger numbers the next day, so I think we can tweak this or tweak that, then you start getting information back, right? You start listening to them, right? Understanding what they think, because everybody has a different perspective, right? And listening to everybody else's perspective is a way to become a true leader, right? If you're just bullheaded and just like, well, nah, putting your fingers in the air, and they're like, well, this guy's crazy. I'm not going to even offer anything. Even if I see him drowning, I'm not going to give him a life vest, because it doesn't benefit them now.
So what does that look like for you? What do you actually do tactically to invest in your team? Is it literally sitting down for an hour outside of, being at work, or what does that relationship look like?
It's going through that kitchen. Obviously, I can't be there every day at every single restaurant, but I run through that restaurant. And when I run through the restaurant, I might be there for 2-3 days, but I'm next to you. I'm cooking next to you. I'm frying next to you. I'm battering next to you. I'm sitting in the front next to you. I'm stocking next to you, and talking to them while I'm doing that. So it's always good to reassure, I wouldn't say it that way, I hate that terminology, but a pat on the back and let them know that, listen, I know what you're doing.
I see you.
I know your name. I know what you're doing, how you've been.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, for spending the time in my restaurant to helping me achieve our goals together. So that's what I do. And I try to make sure I do it as often as I can. I would like to do it more, but then I wouldn't be able to achieve anything else in my life. But because I love that, if I could stay in the kitchen for, days at a time, I would do it. And I've been forced out at this point by my wife. But if it was my choice, I'll be there.
So it's not about a certain amount of time. It's not saying, hey, if you're not spending an hour a week with each team member, you're going to fail.
It's
about the recognition and the time you do spend with them, making sure that that's valuable time.
Absolutely. And it's not a negative time that you're spending with them. You don't want to,
you're saying, hey, you need to do a better job.
Yeah, what's going on with this? Why is this, you don't want to come in and be that guy, because those things can be fixed.
Well, then they see you come around and they already are, they're on edge.
Absolutely.
They're tensed up.
Absolutely.
Wow. So how do you get a team that you actually enjoy investing? Because a lot of business owners go, I don't like these people. I don't want to have to mentor them and invest in them. What do you say to that business owner?
Well, the bad fall off and the good always stay. Cream rises. People fire themselves. I probably in my 8 years of business, I probably fired 2 people, and that was for, insubordination or stealing or something like that. But other than that, people fire themselves. They know if this is for them. So there's really no need for me to, well, I'm not going to spend time with you because I don't like your attitude. I try to give everybody the same time, the same mentorship, the same pat on the back as everybody else. And if they don't like it, typically they'll just leave, and it's okay. It's fine. You weren't meant to be here. So it does no sweat off my back.
So the people that you would call lifers, right? The ones that started with you, they're starting at these locations, and they're there for a long time.
Yes.
Versus the ones who, they might come in seasonally, they're there for a few months, and then they're on to the next thing. How do you know which is which and who you're going to invest your time into?
Because you spend time with them. You talk to them. Right? You talk to them, you ask them what their goals are. You ask them their opinion on things. Most of the time, a lot of times I'll say, so how was the last kitchen ran? How did you guys do over there? What did you do at the other restaurant? And they'll tell me this is the way we did over there. I said, do you think it should change over here? So you want to involve them. And when somebody feels involved with a process, they feel so enlightened. They feel elated because I'm like, wow, this guy's listening to what I'm having to say, and he's really making changes based off my opinion. And wow, maybe I could stay here and hang out, and maybe he'll, appreciate me more by adding more money to my paycheck. But that's what it's about, right? Listening and really engaging.
Wow. So you can tell just based on the conversations, the questions they're asking, the level of depth, and their genuine interest in the business. And you go, hey, they might be leading a location one day.
And I'm always doing that secretly because like I said, I take the philosophy of growing within instead of growing without, and looking for individuals outside of our brand that I have to teach them our culture, or I have to teach them exactly what we're about. So I try to reward the people who currently work for the company to be the next leaders, to take over a new location that we're trying to open up, because I know they know what it takes, and I know they respect it because they watch me do it. And there's no greater feeling than giving that person the keys, right? Because they're like, he listened to me, he watched me, he understood what I was doing, and he respects me. So if I respected somebody that highly, they're going to in turn respect what I put out there in people's mouths and try to feed them. So they take it that much higher as regards.
Is there a way to figure this part out in the hiring process before they're even in the doors? Is that a part of the conversation?
I wish there was a magic ball that I could do that with. But
are you going to be a good one?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I can tell you there's I can never figure out somebody in a interview process, because somebody could sit there, I'm going to be this.
They have all the right answers.
All the superb answers. Exquisite stuff. I'm like, what? Really? Okay. Don't show up for the first day of work. Well, my tie got flat, and couldn't find a babysitter. Okay, well, so I want to see you work. The way you work, especially in the restaurant industry, restaurants are always dirty, right? It's always dirty. I don't care how level of cleanliness you try to do, a restaurant's always dirty. But if there's a time that you're sitting there staring and waiting for something to do, I know you're not the right person. But if you're a person that finds stuff to do and stays busy, you're the right person. That's the only thing I watch is somebody, if we're slow, what are they doing? Are they still cleaning? Are they helping something out? Are they moving boxes? Are they doing anything else other than sitting there with their hands on their hips staring at the clock? If you're staring at the clock, I already know who you're going to be and what I can use you for.